of the 650 runners we had, 600 of them were runners that weren't associated with clubs and weren't UK athletics associated, which just highlights the fact that they were just runners that wanted to come with their family and have a good time.
Quick pause, because this episode is supported by Stort AI. Most businesses know AI is probably going to help their business in one way or the other. The problem is they're so busy running their business, they don't know where to start. They don't know what questions to ask. That's where Stort AI comes in. We sit down with businesses, look at how things actually work day to day, and identify simple ways to save time, reduce admin, and improve systems using AI and other automation tools. There's no jargon or complicated technology. It's just practical ideas to make life just a little bit easier as a business owner. If you're curious about what AI could do for your business, have a look at Stort AI in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by the Wills, Will and Will. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having us back.
Now, this is your second time on the show, but for those of us who maybe missed the first episode with you, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
So we are the owners of the Bishop Stortford Running Festival, which is run by Willpower Events. And the idea is it's a local community running festival with an emphasis on bringing together families in the local community, local vendors, encompassing a running event to have a good time. And it happens around the May bank holidays with the expansion into other dates as well.
Fantastic. How did it go? Let me know.
It went excellently. Yeah, I don't know if you managed to, if you're around town on the day, James, but I'm sure a lot of listeners might have been and saw, over 600 runners going through down Wind Hill, up Wind Hill, down the high street and back up again. It was an awesome day. For everybody involved. It was insanely hot is the one thing I will say, which was a blessing and a curse. It was nice to set up in the heat and, get a nice suntan and everything, but I think our runners felt it quite a lot. But so they were absolute troopers to get through that. But no, it was a very fulfilling day for everybody involved. It really did bring a huge community vibe to the town. I mean, I was running back and forth from town back up to the event village at the Bishop Stortford College, and there were smiling faces everywhere, and everybody. It's been received very, very well, and we're very humbled to have all the positive feedback we've had off the back of it.
The photos from the event looked incredible. There was so many happy, smiling faces. When you came on the podcast, you hadn't mentioned that it was going to be up and down Wind Hill, which I think adds a little bit of difficulty to the thing. I thought you were going to pick a nice flat space, to ease everybody in, but up and down Wind Hill is a bit of a trek. How many steps did you guys do on the day?
35,000. I remember just looking at the end of the day because I ended up pacing around the start of the half marathon. I looked back at it at the end of the day. It's just shy of what I'd do if I ran a marathon.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It was intense. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the downfall of Bishop Stortford. It is very much built on a hill. So anywhere you kind of want to take a race course, it's going to encounter one at some point, unfortunately. So it's a challenging course, but with challenge comes more reward, right? So there's only so much we can do on that part, unfortunately.
What moment did you, like during the day, go, yeah, this has worked. Like this is what we wanted to put on?
The best moment, I think, that it finally sunk in, because there's a lot we were both having to do individually throughout the day, was actually when the final runner crossed the line. And so having set the half marathon 10K and 5K off at staggered times, we started monitoring when we expected the last one to come in. And we did have because of the chip timing company we used, we knew roughly when they were expected. I think they crossed the line very euphoric at the fact that they had achieved the achievement they had set out to do. I think at which point we were like, wow, we've done it. And there were still people mingling around, having their picnics. The event village was still strong at this point. the running had completed and everyone was happy and we'd done the awards. And I think at which point the world turned around to each other and realized we did it. And it was, yes, a very surreal moment at that point.
Yeah, it was. It was 7 months in the making, really, down to that moment. It was quite an emotional moment. I think even just looking around, I think everyone in that moment, our volunteers were really quite emotional as well, because even though they weren't involved from the very start, they were involved for 2 solid days, some of them in the setup and everything, and the amount of work they'd put into it and seen the payoff from it was excellent for everybody. It was a really nice moment.
Is there anything that you think of from the people that got on the course and ran, maybe for the first time at a running event like what you've put on? Do you think there's anything that they kind of misunderstood before coming into it, that after actually having done the event, that they've learned from it? Maybe it's not about how fast you run; it's just more about the enjoyment and the local community and the spirit coming together.
The one thing that I noticed on reflection of the event was that people, I think there was a lot less associated club runners, there was a lot less affiliated with UK athletics. It was actually just general people looking to come for a run. And I think we managed to sort of break down the boundaries, certainly with the course, as we mentioned, not being a flat PB course. It was just come and enjoy the day. That actually, of the 650 runners we had, 600 of them were runners that weren't associated with clubs and weren't UK athletics associated, which just highlights the fact that they were just runners that wanted to come with their family and have a good time. And I think what people didn't realize on the day was the strength of the event village we put on with the local vendors and community to enable people to have a good time. And it showed that we really were looking to cater for the families as well as the runners themselves.
And it's a great advert for itself, I imagine. Actually putting it on made more people aware of the event, as much as we've done the podcast and you guys, featured in the India and you're in all the socials. Actually putting on the event hopefully will mean, if it is happening next year, then next year more people will know, more people will want to enter.
Yeah, very subtle plug there, James. We'll get onto that surely. But no, you're right. And it's probably not the right thing to say, but there are still a lot of people who have come up to me since and said they didn't know it was happening. And had they known, they wanted to get involved. But yeah, having done it once does give us a whole load of content and kind of testimony and word of mouth as well that, this is coming back next year, and it gives an opportunity for people to get involved again. And like you said, we have so much content now, both video and photos, to be able to advertise it better for next year as well. That's for sure.
This episode is being supported by one of my businesses, a brilliant local business called StortBox. If you've ever moved house, you'll know the pain of hunting for cardboard boxes, building them, taping them up, and then figuring out what to do with them afterwards. StortBox makes moving simpler with strong, reusable moving crates delivered straight to your door and collected when you're finished. Less stress, less waste, and a much easier move. It's a local business helping local people move smarter. So have a look at StortBox in the show notes below and see if it can make your next move a little bit easier. Okay, back to the episode. So what does the future, look like? What's going to be different? What are you going to keep the same? What have you learnt?
So the future is growing. We've got a couple of up and coming events penciled in, along with now a firm confirmation of the annual event. So we're doing one further away from Bishop Stortford, but there is currently a planned winter warmer for a date pending in December, and then the repeat Bishop Stortford Running Festival on the 2nd of May in 2027. Based on the feedback we've received, we are looking to use a adjusted route to hopefully enable for more runners to be able to enjoy the route, because it was going to become a limiting factor. We're going to develop on the event village side to have more entertainment for children through to younger adults and older adults, where the plan is to have stuff like face painting, children's games, bouncy castle, along with, it was noted by many people, there was a lack of a beer tent on the day. So as long as we can put the correct licensing in place, then these things will exist with local vendors again. But yeah, 2nd of May next year will be the repeat of the Bishop Stortford Running Festival, along with a to be announced winter warmer sometime in December.
What's a winter warmer? What does that mean?
It's that I'm hoping that it's not -5 and that people want to stand in an event village and enjoy themselves.
There's some merch there somewhere for some nice thick hoodies, hopefully to keep people warm and dry.
Yeah, some BSRF Santa Claus hats as well. Some Bishop Stortford Running Festival branded, I don't know, warm cider or something like that. Yeah, there's something in there somewhere.
Listen, I just want to say, thank you so much for coming on and reflecting on, what sounded like a fantastic day. The whole point of the podcast is to shine a light on people that are doing things in the community, creating things to make it a better place to live. And, your inaugural running festival, fantastic. It's a great thing for the town. And I just wanted to pass on, my thanks from the people that I've spoken to and to you guys for making the effort and putting it on. Hopefully it's going to become a fixture in the Stortford calendar for years to come. And we'll keep getting you back on and talking about it. That'd be fantastic.
Thank you.
Whilst you're here, we do normally ask people Stortford Spotlight questions, but because you've already been on once, I've got a second series of questions. Is it okay if I can ask them to you now?
Yeah.
Go for it. We'll do our best.
Awesome. Okay, first question. What local business are you rooting for?
So there was one story that came out of the Bishop Stortford Running Festival that was probably very under the covers, really. So we had aligned vendors for the day, and unfortunately, as these things do, people's plans change. So very last minute, we were looking for a sort of patisserie cupcake vendor. Now, I reached out across various platforms and came across the Cupcake Club that are based around the Bishop Stortford area. Now, this particular lady had never done a stall before. She sells cakes out of her house, but hadn't expanded beyond this point. She was very humbled and excited to get on board, and I was grateful that she wanted to be part of it at such short notice. But it meant sort of pulling everything together for her very last minute. And it was amazing that we were her first event outside of her house. And it was amazing to see the whole local community atmosphere, which is what I wanted, pulling together for her, where she didn't have an easy up. So one of our other vendors was able to supply an easy up for her to sort some shade out. We managed to source some tables for her, and we basically made it so that her business could have her first stall. And from that, I'm really hoping that this grows her business, because we were able to give her that confidence to go out and show her, look, you can do market stalls. It's completely possible. People bought her cakes. They gave her great feedback. She made money from the day, which is important for a business. So for me, this was what our festival was about. And therefore, I'm sort of rooting for her to keep growing now. I'm hoping that we were sort of part of the start of her story, and now she can go on and develop herself.
What a fantastic bit of kind of serendipity to, have someone drop out, but then able to find a local business that could step in. And that's the Cupcake Club.
Correct. Yes.
That's
you can
the one.
find them on Facebook.
Excellent. Brilliant. Well, what we'll do is we'll tag them in the show notes for this show, and then we'll try and get them on the podcast. What a great founding story.
Fantastic.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. This episode is supported by the Bishop Stortford Community Newsletter. There's so much happening in town, it's hard to keep up. New businesses opening, community events, local stories, and opportunities for all of us to get involved and make Bishop Stortford a great place to live. That's why we created a free weekly newsletter that brings together the best of Bishop Stortford in one place. There's no endless scrolling, no hunting through Facebook groups, just the stories, events, and local updates that matter. If you'd like to stay connected to what's happening in Bishop Stortford, sign up using the link in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. Okay, question 2. What community project, club, or cause, apart from yourselves, should more people know about?
Well, you had an idea for this one.
So obviously you've got the Bishop Stortford Running Club. That is one of the major clubs around the town, which I think people should be getting involved in. But there's a lot of sub clubs below that. one of which I'm aware of bases themselves at South Street Pantry. I know there's a South Street Pantry running club. There's also the Women's Running Club. A lot more of these women's running clubs are appearing, which I think are fantastic, which are getting groups of women together in order to feel safe while running around the local area. Obviously, being two males, we can't have direct experience of this, but my wife runs a lot and Will's partner runs as well. And it's important that they feel safe. And I know from my wife's experience that it can be very daunting being on your own. We've got plenty of friends to do it. Interestingly, our running festival, 50% of the runners were female, and in the 5K category, over 50% were female. And I think more people need to be aware of these clubs because it gives them the confidence and the safety to know that they can go out and run. So yeah, the South Street Pantry Running Club's one that I know that is has both the women's only side of it in order to enable them to run and keep them safe while they're doing it. I'm aware of these popping across the UK, and I think they're very, very important, certainly for local communities. And you never know what friends you're going to make from them. Certainly, me myself has made friends from local running clubs I've joined.
Yeah. Well, let's definitely, we've got some of those running clubs. We'll definitely tag a few of those, and if there's any specific, women only running clubs, we haven't featured any of those on this podcast yet. So let's do that.
Yeah.
To get some extra eyeballs on them. That'd be great, Will. Thank you. Okay, final question. And this is your chance to name drop some other people that might have supported you. Who are two local legends that we haven't featured on the podcast yet that you think we should interview?
Yeah, I can definitely name one, and that's Kelly, or otherwise known as DJ Digital Pocahontas. I don't know if she's featured on this yet.
Not yet. No, we're trying to get her. We want to get her on though.
You want to get her on? I'll put a word in.
Yeah.
I'll give her a nudge. She was epic in the lead up to Bishop Stortford Running Festival. So she owns an agency, a national agency that handles relationships with DJs and gets them into events and festivals and things like that. But at a local level, she also does DJ lessons. She does a lot with the college as well and does lessons there. She was instrumental to the day and the atmosphere for Bishop Stortford Running Festival. So she's definitely somebody that I want to shout out.
Fantastic. Will, have you got another one?
I really think that local legends wise, a lot of the vendors that turned up for us that are based locally were amazing. One to pick out actually was Waterlane Church.
Oh, yeah.
On the day, it was 30 degrees plus, and they put an aid station on outside their church completely off their own back. So they communicated with us to ensure that that was the right thing to do, but completely offered toilets and refreshments outside of the scope of what we were offering, which was amazing because they did it out sort of their own hearts, and it was brilliant to see. And actually, a lot of runners commented saying that those aid stations made a big difference for them. And when it's lovely to see the local community also supporting it. So that's one to give a shout out to, along with the community police that offered support on the day. Without them, it's there again. They made a big difference in ensuring that everyone was safe, along with our various vendors that made sure that everyone had a really good time on the day. But yeah, certainly the Waterlane Church went above and beyond, and it was amazing to see because that's sort of what we're about.
It's great. It sounds as if like so many different people have come together to support your idea and to make it happen and to make the day even better. And that's great. That's exactly the kind of feeling I get from the community every time I talk to people that are out there. And there's so many people that are trying to do good things. So thank you for putting the event on, and thank you for highlighting so many people that are doing great things out there in the community. If I've got an itch and I'm thinking about the winter warmer, or I want to come and do my first 5K next year at Bishop Stortford Runfest 2.0. Where do I need to go online to follow along with your efforts and to sign myself up?
Yeah, there's a few things you can do. So, number one, we have a website, www.bsrunfest.com. So all future Bishop Stortford based events will be listed on there. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well. At BS Runfest is our handle there. And just sign up to our newsletters, and so you can keep up to date with all the Stortford based events that are coming through. We also run events further around the country. as well under our Willpower Events company. So willpowerevents.co.uk is the place to head for all of those.
I will try and get all of those links into the show notes. There's an awful lot, but that's doable. Guys, thank you so much again for coming on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast and sharing everything that you're doing with Bishop Stortford Runfest. We'll probably get you on before next year as well, just to talk about the plans that you've got in place for next year's event. That'd be awesome.
Looking forward
and thank you guys for listening in to the podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to support the show is to hit follow, leave a quick review wherever you're watching this, on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and then share it on your socials, or maybe share it with someone in town who's not on social media, because there's lots of people out there not on social media who might want to get involved in a Runfest this time next year. And if you've got a local legend, someone like the Two Wills that are putting on events, making the community a better place, then drop their name in the comments below, and I can reach out to them, invite them on the podcast, and shine a light on their projects or their activities. Again, thank you, Will and Will, for joining us on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.